No, I thought you were going to start.
I thought you were going to start.
Okay, let's try again. We're back at the Hyperadobe roundhouse. We're ready to move to course number 4, but you know what? We can't.
We have too many things that we have to do before we can start laying course number 4.
The Hyperadobe roundhouse is our most ambitious project yet. Taking everything we've learned from 4 years of experimenting with natural building and off-grid systems, we've designed a unique earthbag structure that will serve as our family home and the centerpiece of our homestead. So far, we've set the foundation, dug out the trenches, put the plumbing in, laid 3 full courses below ground, and now we're getting ready to mark our framed walls and prep buttresses for stability. We have our handy-dandy notebook of measurements. Let's mark some stuff and let's get going. Had a few minor adjustments. Trying to get evenly spaced children's rooms and still enough room for the utility room, but I think we've got it. We've kind of laid on the bags those stakes where the framed wall should be. So what we're going to do is pull our line from the center compass, because we want all of our walls to be exactly coming off of that center compass at the right angle. And then we're going to put in stakes, the back wall and the front wall, so that as we start to build up, we'll have those to reference later when we need to build walls. It's important to know where those walls are for a number of reasons. We're going to be running utilities through those, so some of those will have to pop out through the earthbag wall, so we'll need to put conduit in to run things through. Also, it's tied to like where the doors are going to be for a lot of these rooms.
Which is also where ramp 3 needs to go.
Yeah, it's dominoes. It's always dominoes.
Connected. What are your thoughts on the kids' rooms getting bigger and our room staying small?
I'm a little bummed, but I think our room is bigger than we think it is. Like, I know it looks small, but if you go measure it off.
I'm going to measure it compared to our kids' room size now and see whose is bigger, but I'm pretty sure theirs are bigger.
No.
I think it is. We'll see. All right, future Ashley here. Jonathan's right. The kids' rooms are a little smaller. We stepped off the back of it, so along the back wall in the kids' room, it's about 15 feet, and the back wall on our room is 19.
This will be the door that goes from the hallway into the mudroom, and you can see back there is the door that's going to take us outside. That door is the most important because once we start putting the walls up, this is the only way we're going to be able to get into this huge cavity that goes all the way around. It has all the kids' rooms, utility room, the kids' bathroom. We're not going to be able to access any of these walls without that ramp. So we have to know exactly where that goes so we can put the ramp in. We also started marking this utility room here just to give us an idea of where that's going to be, and we have one electrical conduit that is not going to go up into the ceiling and down, and so we've marked right here. We're going to lay a pipe here so we can pull electrical line, run it on the ground over to the kitchen island. That's the only place where we have electrical coming up out of the ground. I want to make sure we don't forget. Now the next step before we can start the 4th course is we have to get our buttresses ready. We've waited on these because we wanted them to hit at a certain sort of level within the crisscrossing of the bags. So we're going to have to make sure these are still good, put some gravel in them, bring them up to the layer we want. Also, somebody has added an additional earthbag wall. And so this buttress is not just going to come straight out. It's actually going to go all the way down. So we are going to actually have to trench that. Thought we were done trenching.
Not very deep. And it's wet, so it's easy.
It just rained, so this is going to be the best time to do it for sure. But we need to pull that center compass because we want that wall, again, to match that angle and that radius of all the other walls in the building. So we're going to pull that, and I guess I got to go get the pickaxe. again?
Well, we were always going to have this area outside of our room for a soaking tub. And we knew we wanted a privacy wall, because, I mean, that would be weird. So, this wall isn't going to be all the way up with Hyperadobe. It'll probably be about knee height Hyperadobe, and then we'll finish it with bottles. But we need a good footing for this wall, and we want it to match, you know, with the center point.
And remember, this wall is coming out of the straight wall because it has to buttress it, because this wall is over 10 feet. So what we're doing is we're just taking that buttress and just extending it, towing it all on the ground, making sure it's extra solid.
Also, there will be a door here where the ramp was, and then there'll be a little tiny door on this side to where from our room you can just come out into this little secluded area. We didn't add this on. I don't want people to think I changed the plans. This was always in the plan.
Well, this wasn't going to be earthbag.
Well, I said it was going to be
It's going to be bottles. That's what you said.
Well, it has to have a good foundation for bottles, so it has to.
Hit a little bit of a standstill. Trying to bring this wall over, we want to bring it out to the same level as the existing wall, but we didn't put our hardware cloth up around the face of it, so we're trying to get a piece cut that will go under the existing hardware cloth we put in, and then we can backfill that and then get the rest of this all at the same level to put the ground in.
As you can probably tell from these clips, we recorded this a long time ago.
We started working on this around the end of January, and then we had some friends show up, and we thought it would be fun to pause on the buttresses and teach them how to Hyperadobe.
Hey, I'm not Jonathan.
I'm not Ashley.
It's Jeff and Rose from Gridlessness.
They're here to learn how to do Hyperadobe.
Let's do it.
All right, we're starting the 4th course on the house, which that is door frame course, which is very exciting. We're gonna do this inner circle today, and we're just gonna show them step by step. So maybe you're new, and maybe you're kind of like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand all the steps. This is gonna help you out. You're gonna understand exactly what's going on, I promise. Step number 1, we have to know how much bag we need for the wall that we're building. So we're gonna walk it off, and we're gonna see whose feet are longer.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
You always want to walk on the outside of the curve, because if you walk on the inside, it'll be shorter than what you need, and you'll not have enough bag at the end, and you'll be really frustrated. So we're going to be crossing over this bag. So we want to go from this edge all the way over to the outside edge.
7, 12, 9, 8, 15.
82, 73, 21. I'm gonna go with your feet.
67 point.
So as we learned in the last video, if you measure with your feet, you have to walk it off.
Feet size are important.
Because feet sizes differ from human being to human being. What we want to do though is we want to add at least 4 extra feet.
Right.
Because we have to fold over and run under the bags on each end. We got to tie them off. So we don't want to come up short at the end. That's the goal.
No. So I would add like 5 extra.
We can do 5. That's fine.
Yeah. So 68 plus 5. I said 62.7, not 67 point. Oh, okay. So 62 point
We're
something.
already getting confused.
Yeah.
62 point something. We're gonna round that up to 63 plus 5 is 68.
Hyperadobe tube netting. It's UV treated. It's a mesh so that the material inside this bag locks to the next layer. So we got it on a big roll here. We're just gonna roll it out. He's gonna walk off those steps with his feet, not my feet. And then we're gonna cut it. And then we'll put it on the bucket.
My pants, is that
Gross.
Here we go.
You're
Look,
gonna
man,
lose it.
3, 4,
But what?
5. I forgot how many. Just
You get to handle the bag.
You're gonna lose it up the back of your pants.
So what we're gonna do is we've got this, we call it our Dolly bucket system. We have a Dolly or a cart over there with wheels that this bucket is gonna hook onto. But we have to take this bag and we have to essentially scrunch it all the way up on here. And we have to do it on the right end because we want the dirt to go down in from the top. So we're gonna flip this over and we're just gonna start scrunching this down around it. Yeah, so we wanna get it down as far as we can because we got, what was it, 70 feet? So,
68.
yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of bag to scrunch on. It's easier if we both grab, like you grab your side and I'll grab mine.
Kind of like stuffing Smokies.
Call them sausages.
Yeah.
It's like that thing you eat at a baseball game. What
Hot dog?
No, like a brat.
Oh, a bratwurst.
Kinda.
It's like that, except not at all, but it's that same shape and size.
So it's a little bigger than a hot dog.
Yeah.
Fatter than a hot dog.
Oh yeah. This will wear you out after a while. It's like, especially if you're standing up doing it, it's like a squat workout. Okay, so right here, we're gonna pause and we're gonna flip it over. We're gonna tie a knot.
Yes.
So that way, it's gonna give us a nice clean edge on the outside. Because if we did it the other way, you'd have this like tie
Right.
sticking off.
Right.
When you go to plaster over that would be like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just leave the knot to the inside, and then that way the bag will just compress it and you won't ever see it. Yeah. We used to use like rebar ties for
Right.
this,
Yeah.
and realized just additional material
Right.
and tools and stuff that you didn't really need. Nice, tight, and then get it the rest of the way. So you want it nice and tight there. And then you have a little band that we wrap and it goes above that. So that creates the tension on the bag so that it sort of
Right.
slides out slowly. And that way you fill it evenly.
Yeah. That is just like making Smokies.
Yeah, it is.
We always have someone hold that casing on so that like it gets all tight.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
This is the other half of the Dolly bucket system. We've modified this cart a little bit to give it a nice slope and to push the bucket off so that the bag doesn't get caught and ripped. So what I've figured out is we need about 2 of my feet. So from the edge of where we're gonna lay it, I'm gonna come out to right about there and then roll it to where it's gonna hit it, like that. Because this is gonna fill out and it's gonna come down and then we're gonna have to pull it into place. And that way we don't overshoot it and have too much. This is set up, this is ready to go. So we're gonna go over and look at the mixing station, see how that works.
This is the mixing station. We have AB mix and we also have Portland cement. We're doing 10% Portland cement. So if we have 9 scoops of AB mix, we have
Yes.
1 scoop of Portland. Yeah, so and then we're just gonna add water and I'll show you what that mix is supposed to look like before it goes into a wheelbarrow and over to the bags. This is what we're looking for. It's not soupy. This might be even a tad bit wet.
Okay.
But
It's like perfect for making snowballs.
yeah. Snowballs or
Snowball mud.
yeah. All right. And so then that just gets dumped into a wheelbarrow and taken over to the bucket. Extra binder like that. Jonathan hates it when I do that.
So you make sure you always do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't think we need it, and I know we don't. We didn't do it on the shed, but it makes sense to me to have just a little bit of that mix to like fasten both ones together.
The only reason I don't like it is if you're high up on a wall and as you're stepping back, there's a lot of clumps and things to step on. It makes it unsafe.
Right.
And you can't put it behind this, or else it just scrapes it and it gets stuck. So
when the bag's like out where it's supposed to be, there's like a little crack between the bag and the wood that'll just...
You can't help yourself.
I can't.
So the thing you're always fighting against is a cavity in the bag, especially as you're starting this, because you're going from vertical to horizontal, right? So when you make that turn, it's going to want to leave this cavity in it.
Right.
So usually we'll let it get to about this fullness, and then just kind of lift it up a little and kind of tamp the end of it so it's a nice flat end.
Okay.
And that'll help us kind of get it started. And so we're actually gonna fill this thing all the way up to here before we start. And that should help as we pull it out. You'll have all that weight
behind
to
it.
Push it down and to help keep it evenly filled.
And that's about 3 wheelbarrow loads. So
Okay.
ready to start more loads?
Okay, here's the take this one back.
Ta-da!
Trickiest part is getting it started because you don't want to create a cavity, you got all this weight, and you want it to hit like right at the edge of this, and once you kind of get it set, it's pretty hefty. It's gonna be hard.
You're not moving it very easily.
So the easiest way is if somebody holds the dolly, so she's just making sure it doesn't roll back.
Right.
Because we filled this up all the way, I'm just gonna grab the flat side of this, flip it up and pull it, and it's all gonna slide
out.
And then we'll keep filling, and then we'll start to move. Yeah, so we don't move yet, but we gotta get this bag in place first. This is really heavy.
Yeah, looks heavy.
So you gotta keep it back a little because it's gonna, tamp.
Right.
But yeah, so we don't have much of a cavity there, which is good, but we do have some it's moving a little weird.
To go that way.
When we start adding more bag, we can fix that a little easier.
Okay, you can kind of shuffle it over a bit.
Yeah, we can pull it however we need to line it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't move
I'm
it
not
anymore.
trying to move it, it's just
moving.
pushing.
Okay, I'll hold it here.
And do some more scoops in there now?
If you ever need like a big mass to keep something from rolling away on you, I'm your guy. In Canada, we measure mass in kilograms.
What are those?
They're way bigger than pounds. That's all you need to know.
Those metrics?
Yes. Yeah.
You didn't know what kilograms
I'm
were?
just kidding. It's a joke. Okay, so the next step is tamping, and this is the really important part. You can't just put loose dirt in a bag and let it sit here and dry because it's not going to compact into any sort of meaningfully strong structure, right? So the reason we add water and cement so we can compress it and create the block out of it. So the simplest way to do it is just to go grab a tamp, from the store, and then...
I've never seen that in a store.
Really?
Nope.
No.
Huh.
I feel like I would need to come down here to get one.
Weird. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so what I usually do is I'll do a light first pass.
Yep.
And before that, I've already gone through and I've looked at it from overhead to see if there's any major variations from this bag that we're laying to the bag underneath it, because we want this wall to go up plumb, right? If it starts getting off, you end up with a structural issue where it's leaning and it's not strong anymore. So because we're overfilling these bags so much, we want to get what I call the poof out of it, right? So you just kind of take the first couple of steps.
Oh, that is satisfying. Wow.
So right about there is walkable.
Yeah.
Right? So if I step here, it's too soft. And especially once you start getting up higher, that's not very safe. So it takes see how it's kind of letting the excess dirt out?
Yeah.
And then I usually go back harder one time. And that gets it pretty walkable at that.
Yeah.
At least with the 8 index.
Yeah.
So then I come in and I try to get the sides, right? So kind of like
Side to side.
side to side. I think we'd be done at this point.
Right, yeah. I'm like, looks good.
So then we like to do the sides.
Whack
Right? And part of the reason for that is
Make it flat.
when you go to plaster these,
Right.
if you have these huge cavities between each bag,
Yeah.
then you have to put a lot more plaster on.
Right.
But also doing this will allow you to really line it up with the bag underneath, right? So like I'm able to eyeball this and see that it's not sticking out too much, right? Sometimes it's hard to get, like this is gonna be really hard to tamp.
Right.
Not a lot I can do about that. As we get up higher, it'll make more of a difference.
Right.
Right now, it's, you know, it's more cosmetic than anything. But then you come back one more time, and you just really wail on it, and you'll start hearing that, the difference in noise
Right.
when it hits that like metallic sound.
Yeah.
Like that noise right there. That means it's not gonna tamp much more.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it.
And then, you know, if you look at it, and I can see that when I tamped it, it pushed back out here.
Right.
So you can come back. You can make those adjustments as you go down. But yeah, that's what you do. It's a good workout. I'm out of breath.
Right.
And it's a lot. It's a lot to do. So
Yeah.
it's better if you have a bigger team
Right.
and you have some people filling
Yeah.
and somebody kind of tamping behind. Otherwise, you got to come back and tamp the whole thing
Right.
start to finish. And it's a good way to hurt yourself.
Right.
It's a good way to rattle your bones.
Yep.
But yeah, so it definitely helps having like a big team.
So can I try this, or is that
Yeah.
will I like permanently wreck the wall?
So the only thing you have to be careful about, really more than anything, is over tamping.
Oh.
Because if you tamp it down too far, you can't fix that.
Right.
So the trick is to do it in those multiple passes.
Right,
so
right.
like maybe do a section from like here to here.
Right.
And do the light pass,
Yeah.
and then a little bit harder, and then side to side, and then we'll do the sides, and then high, and don't just let it drop. You know,
Okay.
don't like smash it down. Let the weight do the work. Then go side to side. Then
you whack it.
and do the sides, yeah. And just kind of eyeball it from up high, and you want it to come in a little bit further than the wall below, because you're gonna do it again and it's gonna come back out.
It's like whacking a salmon on the head. Once you get them in the boat, just
Is it?
feels the same way.
I wouldn't know about that. Don't be afraid to really, you want to compress that
Oh,
side.
you want like manly hits.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. If you look at like the other bags we've done, the sides are really where it doesn't
Yeah.
get compressed as much.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna go again with the big whacker.
Uh-huh. So take a step back before you start, and feel as you're walking.
Yeah.
Like walk up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you feel where it starts to come up.
Yeah,
So
right there.
that's what
That's
you're
the
gonna
ramp.
you're gonna try to bring that down to the existing level.
Okay.
I would start side to side. This looks really thick here, so I'm guessing you're gonna need a few passes at it. Still looks
a
like it's
little
coming
hump
up
there,
a little. So if you feel that hump, you can just do that in the middle if you need to. So
fun.
if you walk it, do you feel any variation in it? If you like rub, like kind of just slide your foot across it.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
Feel
yours
like
is
it goes
better.
up?
Yours is better. It's like
Oh, I see it. It's right there.
it's almost
isn't it?
high here. Yeah.
So that just means you just need to tamp it a little bit more. This means it's not. It's kind of surprising how many times you have to.
Right. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Sweet.
Excellent.
And then you retouch the edges, or
If you need to, sure. Yeah, if you see it, it looks a little weird. Yeah, go ahead and make adjustments. Okay, while we have you guys here, I want to talk about the difference of building methods. So
Yeah.
we're in the desert. We're
Yeah.
building out of dirt because
Yeah.
there's a lot of dirt here, right?
Right.
But you're from Canada.
Right.
Canada?
Did I say it weird?
Canada.
You said Canada?
They say we have an accent. I don't think we do. Tell us about how you build stuff, because it's got to be you're using the resources you got in a totally different way.
Well, do you want the way normal Canadians build things or the way we build
And for a
things?
different climate.
the way you do it, the way you do it in your climate? Yeah.
So yeah, like I mean, we're trying to keep the heat in all year round. Like almost, we do actually have windows. Our house has great big south-facing windows that capture all the winter sun. But we still heat like 10 months of the year, and we don't ever cool. And so, like, there's like literally a couple days of the year where it's hot. We just open windows and
So you're a lot of insulation.
yeah, lots of insulation. And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that's in common.
Okay.
Is building in the earth is beneficial no matter where you are,
It's true. Yeah.
because the earth just is such a stable temperature, and like this thermal mass in this house would be awesome for us as well, because we still get like those 20-degree swings from day to night, and if you can just have a stable temperature, you can get away without heating a lot.
Even
of
if
the
it's
times.
only 10 degrees, if it like shaves that down, yeah.
You're talking about
less
10
of
like
a swing.
American degrees.
Yeah.
If we could build some earth sheltered buildings, which are on my list,
Yeah.
it would be beneficial. We would still be heating in there, but we would be essentially robbing heat from the soil forever,
Yeah.
just to keep it above freezing. But yeah, for us, like the maximum solar gain, and for you, you're like building walls to like shield you from the solar gain.
Right. Exactly. You're using lumber for most of your stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So our place is just like solid timber.
Yeah. So you
So
have
it's-
that's an abundant resource for you.
Totally.
So
yeah.
you just cut it down and you mill it.
Yep.
You just make your own.
Yeah, we got a wood miser, and we can mill timbers and like siding, and like we mill any wood we need.
I'm very jealous.
I'm jealous that they have trees.
Yeah.
Well, and we don't have termites. So like building
Yeah.
with wood also doesn't have the risk of termites up there.
Yeah, we definitely have termites here.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but we have the sun and the humidity is weird, and so any wood that you leave exposed out
Right.
here curls up like a piece of paper.
Right.
So like we have to either burn it and oil it and seal it,
Right.
Yeah.
or stain it, or cover it up, make sure it's never exposed. Like yeah, it's a whole thing to
Yeah.
deal with for sure.
Totally different climates, same problems. A little
Similar
different.
problems,
Similar
right?
problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff and Rose and the girls have the most adventurous vehicle. It's a huge truck, and they have 2 rooftop tents on top and like so many custom things. Make sure you check out their channel because they do some of the most incredible stuff. They're also super talented, and it's just really cool to get to meet people that have inspired you online. So glad they're here.
When you start doing it like this, it's a little bit different technique. So go ahead and
Keep
add.
putting it in.
You're gonna have my bum print right in this wall.
Forever.
Or we can just spray paint this
Yeah.
button forever and always.
Jeff was here.
So then you just take that off. Slide it up.
Nice.
And then we're going to want to roll this down, because the hardest part at this point is going to be filling it to the
Right.
same fullness by
Right.
hand. The back tension here so that it's not falling down. And then I'm going to be basically like
Yeah, and
filling it by hand.
I can do that from here.
All right, and then you can just dump it in there. Yep. So I got to also expand the bag too.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're not stretching it and expanding it anymore. And then let's pause there, because we're getting pretty close, and we don't want to overfill, because we don't want it hanging
Have it
over the
hang over.
edge.
Couple more scoops,
Yeah,
probably.
still a few. We're gonna have enough dirt.
Yeah, we got
A whole nother batch. Sorry, yeah.
So what you do is you want to go ahead and compress the end
Okay.
because we're gonna lift the bag up and we don't want it to collapse and fall apart.
Okay.
So I'm gonna lift this up,
Right.
and then you take all of this, and you want the tight point to be at the bottom of the bag,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and you want to pull it down tight, and you want to twist it. Make sure that twist starts right at the base of it where it's really tight. Yeah.
So it's kind of like braiding the girl's hair.
Yeah, just twist it around and pull it back this way as you're doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna take all that, I'm gonna fold it under. That's good, that's fine. Let me put my finger on it there. And then you push the rest under.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna come down. And so you wanna keep that tension there
Right.
and fold this over top of it,
Oh man,
like that.
it's beautiful, like a croissant.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then you gotta tamp it all.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much. You built the very first fourth course on our Hyperadobe roundhouse. This is amazing. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to mark it. Spray whatever you want on it.
Whatever we want.
Well,
Whatever you want on it. You can either put it on the top and it'll get covered up, or you
Yeah.
can put it on the side and we'll see it the rest of the build. So
Awesome.
each
That's
of
a
you
lot of-
spray paint whatever you want.
actually, it's
Take
gonna
note
be
of the
covered.
wind.
The fourth
Oh
layer.
no, never mind. It will be covered either way. It'll
Oh
be wrapped.
shoot!
But,
It's okay.
but that means it'll always be.
That's
there.
right, preserved.
So I would put it on the top.
Yeah, I would. Okay, girls, what are you writing in there?
I've seen the sun rise from mountaintops, slept on the wrong side of tabletops. I've climbed up trees that don't seem to stop, but it's home where my heart belongs. And it's the same as it's always been. Yeah, these roads keep us traveling. They're like rivers and wide and deep, who flow from land out into the sea. Drawn home